Josh Bartel punts the football very differently than conventional punters, and it may be giving these returners a little bit of problem.
Midway through this third quarter, Chad Simpson slashing off the right side. A good first down gain for Simpson. Up around the 23-yard line.
Big difference in that challenge to have the Bombers now backed in their own end. Chad Simpson averaging 68.5 yards per game since joining the lineup. This is the first few games of the season. That ranks 4th in the CFL, by the way.
Second and 5, flag flies. And Simpson stacked up short of the first down.
And I think that ball may have come out of there. There was an official down to see who has possession of it, climbing right in the pile.
And from the bottom, Simpson gets up with a bit of a limp, but also with the football. Again, a flag on the play.
Offside, Hamilton, number 27. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down, Winnipeg.
That's the newcomer, Coakley.
Well, it'll be first down for Winnipeg, but let me show you Richie Miller, the umpire, number 34 here, and watch how he sees the ball come out. So he wants to make sure he can see who recovers it. This ball is live, and he's going to dig down in there. He's going to root in there to see, okay, who's got the football, and he wants to get the closest view he can. Good for him putting himself in harm's way there to take a look to see who recovered it.
That's an old rugby player, isn't it? Here's Pierce on a roll after the play action fake and a completion. He's got Clarence Denmark, Coakley the tackle. But another first down for the Bombers out around the 40-yard line. Clarence Denmark a catch.
I like to see Buck Pierce on the roll a little bit more. Every time he rolls out and throws the ball on the run, it looks like it puts the Hamilton defense in a bit of a bind. Little play action here, and look, he's got the corner so he can run or throw, and it hesitates the defense a little bit. And Gary Croton, he can get Buck Pierce outside and throwing on the run a little bit more. This offense could start to really roll.
First down. It's complete down the sidelines, and Rory Collard has his first catch since week 3. 7th catch of the season for the young Canadian slot back.
He does it on Nick Graham, and he's going down the sideline. Deliberate throw
Major
behind.
Foul, face masking, Hamilton, number 14. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that'll tack on another 15 yards as Graham gets caught on the face mask as he pulls him out of bounds. But deliberate throw behind, the accuracy on the throw perfect, and a blatant face mask that time.
So a net of 39 on the play as the University of Saskatchewan product comes up with a 24-yard catch and the 15-yard penalty. First down at the Ticat 30 for the Bombers. And Buck Pierce takes a shot. Edwards dropped at the 2-yard line. Third catch for Edwards, his 50th of the season.
Quick decision by Buck Pierce. He's going to get Edwards to go right down the seam in the zone defense, and he has to hit him in between the safety and the linebackers in the shorter level. Look at that. Edwards puts his hand up to give him a little hint. Buck Pierce getting this team rolling, starting out with that throw on the run.
So at the 2, the short yardage group comes in with Alex Brink. Pombriand and Simpson in behind, and now Pombriand motions. Simpson flagged down, and Simpson will get stuffed short.
Usually this means offside defense. I would guess it's about 80–90% of the time in short yardage the defense tries to anticipate the snap count. But the last touchdown that the Bombers scored offensively was against the BC Lions, a very similar situation with Alex Brink going in on a quarterback sneak.
Officials will conference, and when we see that, you wonder if it's an alignment issue again.
Well, then that would go to the offensive side of the board if they had an illegal formation offensively. And they have once already in this game on a short yardage play.
Offside, Hamilton. That penalty's declined. Too many men. Hamilton. That penalty's accepted. First down.
So the conference was to sort out two different calls.
12 right there in the box, and right out here is number 13.
No wonder those 2 yards were so tough. So now down at the 1. First and goal. Brink plunging. Flag down. Cannon's gone off.
The cannon's been waiting for some time to go off. They wanted to make sure the powder was still dry on the cannon. After almost 4 games since the offense crossed the goal line.
On the field is not a touchdown. The penalty is offside, Hamilton. That will be applied. Repeat, first down.
So Winnipeg didn't get in, but there was offside Hamilton.
Boy, it looked like Brink had broken the plane.
Well, Ray Williams had his arm across the line and into the neutral zone. And we've seen that this year. I'm not a big fan of that. I think it should be reviewed at the end of the season, but that's another discussion. Can the Bombers get in?
Brink to try again. He'll go wide, and he will score. 6th touchdown of the year for Alex Brink, and a long-awaited touchdown for the Bombers.
Finally bump the slump and get it in the end zone. The first offensive touchdown for this football team under head coach Tim Burke. And he's the first to congratulate Alex Brink on the sideline, but the credit should go to Buck Pierce and the offensive drive he put together. A couple of very accurate throws to get in the red zone.
Over 15 quarters.
Don't bring that on us.
And some late arrivals for the Ticats on this convert. Kick is good, and the Bombers lead by a touchdown.
Take a look one more time at Alex Brink getting outside and getting the corner. Kevin Iben came down, a nice block right at the point of attack by Chad Simpson. That gave Alex Brink the corner. He finally breaks the slump, gets in the end zone. Over 230 minutes of football since the BC Lion game in August. A nice drive by Buck Pierce. 3 real accurate throws, 1 on the run to get that drive started.
First touchdown in over 7 quarters against the Ticats. Here's Rutley trying to sift his way through traffic, and good run to the 45. The touchdown drive for Winnipeg, 7 plays, 93 yards. There were 4 Ticat penalties en route.
Last time the Bombers offensively scored a touchdown, everybody in the stands was wearing t-shirts, flip-flops, and shorts. Back in August against the BC Lions, Paul LaPolice was still the head coach. So it's been a while. We'll see if it can get the Bombers back in the win category.
So some heat on the Ticats. Here is Avon Coburn, and short gain off the right side. A couple for Coburn to the 47.
Another late penalty flag here, almost after the fact, coming from a sideline official. Looks like Henry Burris getting the option, which would mean it's against the Bombers.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg, number 8. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Stewart to the sidelines. 13 unnecessary roughness penalty against the Bombers this year.
Well, watch Brandon Stewart here. Just to the left of your screen. Retaliation, right hook. Samuel Shiger.
So he goes off the sidelines with his arms raised like, what did I do?
Yeah.
It's fairly obvious, isn't it?
Couldn't be more obvious.
Coburn straight ahead. Down to the 45-yard line.
But, you know, in all seriousness, Chris, you make a good point, because we at times we jump on the officials about a lot of penalty flags and throwing those flags, but these are decisions made by the players on the field. And does Brandon Stewart have to do this? Look, he got in a pushing match. He walks away, no penalty. And he doesn't have to do that. It's a bad decision, a selfish decision, and gave Hamilton another set of downs.
And he's off the corner. Devon Washington in there instead. Second down. Andy Fantuz to catch. Devon Johnson's going to hold him up short of the first down.
It will be close, though. He gets his forward progress. He's going to be right near that first down marker. Javon Johnson in his third game now at that linebacker position, really a cover down linebacker.
And this may get a measurement. Looks like they're going to be a yard short as they spot it at the 39.
He had a pretty good game in that Banjo Bowl in his first game at linebacker when he made the switch, taking over for Jonathan Hefney, who they put back at the halfback spot, and then a bit of a tough one, as did most of the defenders against the Calgary Stampeders. But the Ticats are going to try for a field goal.
Ticats, I don't think they're happy about this. Avon Coburn gestured to the sidelines. It's 3rd and a yard. And they're going to try from 46-8. And here's Kanji. And Luka Kanji has nailed another. He has been on fire. And it's now a 16-12 game. A little surprised, though, that
I am surprised they went for it, but Luka Kanji has been money, and why not take the points? And that's probably what George Cortez was thinking. He's second behind Paul McCallum in points coming in at 104. But when you look at his percentage at 92% coming in, perfect tonight, he is on a roll. In fact, Steve Daniels from the league office and statistics said that 11 more kicks and he will surpass the 94.3% that was set, a record set by Paul McCallum a year ago. It would be better than that. Now that has to go for the rest of the season, the remaining games in the regular season, but he's on that kind of a roll. But I'm with you, Chris, a little surprised that George Cortez in basically a yard or even a little less than a yard would go for the field goal there. Pitch pass.
Denmark picks his way. Could see some activity at the Hamilton bench, and I think Avon Coburn's really steamed about something, and
it was
the only guess is that they didn't go for it on 3rd and a yard.
Yeah, he's not happy with the fact that they didn't trust the offense, and he wanted to come over and say, look, we were a yard or inside of a yard.
By the way, Luka Kanji now is 10 for 10 on kicks outside the 40 this year. Here's Simpson bubbling back. Boudreau couldn't bring him down. And Chad Simpson makes something out of nothing there up to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, really amazing he did.